Hypocrites in their faith. First of all, let me clarify. I am not judging anyone. This message is not a critique or condemnation. It is the word of a believer to other believers. Because this truth exists in the heart of everyone, I am merely speaking it out loud. We recognize them well. Those false pastors, self-proclaimed men of God, who preach virtue and judge, swearing by the name of the Almighty, quoting verses to condemn others, while their mouths are defiled and their hearts corrupted by vanity, pride, and the desire for recognition. Their sermons are full of piety, yet their lives reflect hypocrisy. They come to teach, but have they ever cleaned in front of their own door before pointing at their neighbors? Look at those we see in Africa and elsewhere. Their practices have been denounced countless times. Yet they persist, trapped in deception, ensnared by the evil one. All for power, for glory, for money. These pastors claim to serve God, but they serve money. They have become servants of Beelzebub, instruments of the evil one. They tell their followers, if you don't give, you won't be heard, you won't be accepted into paradise. Lie after lie, forked tongue after forked tongue, swallowing greed, cultivating fear, feeding illusion. Their grand words and gestures of piety mask the thirst for power and gold. Among those who call themselves believers, there are also artists. Some claim to be Muslim, yet make music that directly affects the heart and mind. Sounds, rhythms, vibrations, certain frequencies, have been scientifically shown to unsettle the brain, create agitation, impulsivity, and disconnect youth from their inner silence. It is not music itself that is criticized, but the effect it has on the soul and the implicit message it spreads. Even artists claiming to guide can propagate shadow. This perverse system does not come from nowhere. It was introduced, exported, implanted by international networks, sometimes through evangelical movements, parasitizing Africa, corrupting souls, glorifying money and fear rather than humility, service, and truth. These same structures have legitimized unjust regimes, contributed to apartheid in South Africa, and twisted tools of peace against entire peoples, turning religious wisdom into instruments of domination and profit. The divine is ineffable. It existed long before our birth, before scriptures, before books. Only an intelligent man or woman will understand this parable, for it comes from a man on the ground. This truth precedes institutions, pulpits, and microphones. We all have our flaws, wounds, and shadows. No one is righteous. We are all small sinners. But those who use faith to lift themselves, to manipulate, deceive, or trade in souls, will fall by the same measure. True faith is not measured by the wealth of a pastor, the grand decor of a church, or the fear instilled. It is measured by the sincerity of our actions, the purity of our heart. By what we do for the love of God, for the love of others, and not for image, money, or power. So look around you. When you see a man of God or an artist promising light and success, but spreading shadow and manipulating souls, ask yourself, does he live what he preaches? God does not play merchant with souls. He calls for sincerity, humility, truth. Even if you falter, doubt, or have sinned, your path to God does not depend on a greedy intermediary, but on your true relationship with Him. Remember, no one can claim to be righteous. We are all small under God's gaze, and he who elevates money, appearance, hypocrisy, raises himself toward his fall. May the time of revelation come. The truth always manifests. And this is a man on the ground telling you. Signed, the ineffable at